Welcome to the Embodied Living Podcast, a space where we will dive into the essence of being human. My name is Kirstine Ilum, and I will be your host and your guide on this journey of self-discovery. In each episode, whether it's a soulful solo exploration or a heartfelt conversation with a guest, we dive into topics like somatic therapy, personal transformation, trauma, movement practices, breathwork, presence, and much, much more about the complexity of being a human. And alongside our discussion, I will vulnerably share parts of my own journey and my own story, inviting you to join me in exploration. I've definitely danced and still is dancing on my own path of healing and integration. I believe that our bodies have this profound power to heal and transform. And as we transform internally, something beautiful happens. We ripple, change outward into the world around us. So thank you for joining me on this journey of embodied living, where we embrace the beauty of being human. Hi, this is Kirstine, and before we begin today, I just want to thank you for being here. Whether this is your first time listening or you've been with me before on the podcast, I'm so grateful for your presence. This episode is a slower, softer kind of listening experience. It's an invitation to not only think about change, but to feel into it. Let it land in your body and let it move something in you. So now, let's begin. Change has a rhythm. Not a straight path, not a clear beginning or end, but some kind of current that pulls us in whether we are ready for it or not. Some changes arrives like a whisper, like something soft, subtle, barely noticeable, until we look back and realize that everything is different. Then there are others, they come like a storm, a sudden, disorienting, impossible to ignore. And then there are slow, unfolding changes. The kind that we sometimes resist, the kind that stretches us beyond what we thought we could hold. So today, let's sit with change. Not as something that we have to conquer or control, but as something to listen to, something to move with. So what happens in our body when change comes? Change is not at all just a mental concept. It's a felt experience. It's a physical sensation before it even becomes a thought. The body knows before the mind does. Often, change can bring tension, a tightening, a restlessness, a holding. The nervous system perceives this uncertainty as sometimes potential danger, even when we know that change is necessary. And sometimes we brace against it, as if resisting could keep the things the same. But resistance in itself creates even more tension, leaving us exhausted. Our body tightens, our breath might become shallow and emotional. We might even feel overwhelmed, confused, or even numb. And sometimes the pain isn't just emotional, it becomes physical, showing up as headaches, fatigue, tightness, pain. And other times we rush into it, desperate to leave behind what was, as if hurrying up should make us or make this discomfort disappear. But what happens? What happens if we pause, when we actually listen to what change stirs up inside of us? What if we stayed with that sensation long enough to really get it, to really feel it, maybe understand it? If it feels right for you, you can close your eyes. Think of a change that you are in, or one that is lingering at the edges of you. What do you notice? Where do you feel it in your body? Is it heavy? Does it feel light? Is it moving? Is it still? What happens if you let it be exactly as it is? I remember a time when my whole world was shifting, when everything familiar to me seemed to unravel, to fall apart. I remember having this image in my mind of me standing in the center of a raging storm. A lot of noise, uncertainty, and movement swirling around me. And in that moment, I just knew that I had to find an anchor within myself. I could not control the storm, but I could find my feet. I could find my grounding. I could sense the ground beneath me, even as everything else was in motion. Everything else was falling apart. And it was in that stillness that I could truly feel what was happening, rather than just being consumed by it. We often think of change as before and an after story, but most of it happens in the in-between. The in-between is the space of transition, where the old no longer fits, but the new hasn't fully arrived yet. This in-between space is where transformation happens. But it can feel so unsettling, like floating without an anchor. We long for that clarity, but clarity does not come by force. The body seeks certainty. The mind wants to label, to define, to control, but some things are not meant to be solved. They're meant to be lived. If we rush through this in-between, we miss the wisdom of it. The unraveling, the shedding, the quiet whispers of what is coming next. And what if, instead of resisting the unknown, we could sit with it and let it unfold in its own time? And maybe you are in such a space right now. Maybe something in you is shifting, but you don't know yet what is becoming. That's okay. You don't need to have the answers today. You don't need to rush through that uncertainty, however scary it feels. And maybe you can let yourself be in that in-between for just one moment longer. Some changes we choose. Other changes chooses us. And both can actually feel equally scary, equally disorienting. Some changes come with grief, the loss of identity, a relationship, a version of ourselves we thought would last. Other changes I feel bring relief. It brings a lightness, an opening. But every single change asks for something of us. It stretches us. It breaks us open and makes us more of who we already are. And we often fear that change. We fear that change will make us lose ourselves. But what if change is actually revealing us? Peeling back the layers to something more true, more authentic. And the body remembers. Every time we face change before, we have come through it. Perhaps not unchanged, but whole. Think of a time where change felt impossible, and yet, here you are. You've met change before. You've survived it. You've survived what once felt completely unbearable. And maybe, just maybe, this change, whatever it is shaping you in ways that you can't see yet. And even when we long for change, we resist it. It's a paradox, right? We want growth, we want to change our habit, and yet we keep hanging on to what feels familiar. The resistance isn't failure. It's a complete natural response. And it's your body's way of holding on to what it knows, what feels safe. The nervous system links change with the unknown, and the unknown with a risk, maybe even dangerous. And this is why fear arises when change is positive even. So instead of forcing ourselves forward, what if we met resistance with curiosity? What if we asked, what part of me feels unready? What does this part need? And can we meet that part that doesn't feel ready with kindness, not urgency? Sometimes this resistance is simply a signal that a part of us wants to feel safe, to feel heard. And by listening, instead of pushing through, we begin to create a softer space inside. A softer space where real change and transformation can really take root. So how do we find trust in the unknown? Trust doesn't mean having certainty. It means being able to be with the uncertainty. We can look at nature. Trees does not resist autumn. The leaves falls off anyway. Change is written into, let's say, the fabric of life. Change is completely unavoidable. It's always there. So what if we allowed ourselves to trust what is unfolding, to trust where it's leading us, and that it's leading us somewhere meaningful, even if we can't see it yet. Sometimes I feel that the best thing for me is to step back, breathe, allow, be with that part of me that's scared, and allow that change to work on me rather than force myself to work on change. So if you've trusted this transition fully, how would that feel in your body? What would change if you let go of the needing to know or control the outcome? Change can feel overwhelming, but we don't have to navigate it alone. Having a space to land, to explore, to feel supported in transition makes all the difference. Inside of my community, the embodied living community, we hold space for these moments through embodied practices, deep listening, and shared experience. A place to return to again and again and again as life shifts and unfolds. So if you feel called to explore these practices in a held container, you're so welcome to join us. And change is not something to be solved. It's something to be moved with, something to surrender to. And when we do, when we stop fighting, when we listen, we find that change is maybe not the end of something. It's the becoming of something else. So as you step back into your day, carry this question with you. What would it feel like to soften into change that is already happening within you. Thank you for being here. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love you to share it with someone you might need to hear it. Maybe someone is going through their own version of change. And if you're curious to explore more of this, slowly, gently, together, you're warmly welcome to come into the Embodied Living community. There is a soft space to land here, and practices, presence, and support as your life unfolds. I'll add the links in the show notes, and if you have questions, you're more than welcome to reach out or write in the comments. You're warmly welcome, and thank you for being here. And I hope to see you in the next episode. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for listening to the Embodied Living podcast. I hope you felt inspired and felt that you were in good company. If you are seeking connection or embarking on your own journey, you are welcome to join our community through my website, embodiedliving.se, or connect with me on Instagram at Kirstine.Ilum. Through our community, you can access more resources and information about ways we can work together, whether it's through workshops, sessions, or in the online community. I'm here to support you on your path of self-discovery. If you want to help me and support the podcast, giving a review would mean the world to me and my work. It's a great way of give something or some energy back to actually all of us who are creating podcasts. So if you feel like giving the podcast 5 stars and writing a review, I would be immensely grateful. It doesn't take long and it makes a great difference for me. Thank you for being a part of this journey, and let's continue to explore, learn, and grow together. See you in the next episode.